Well, Stevie Nicol, let's talk about Steven Gerrard, his Aston Villa side taking an early lead at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace, but then losing by 3-1. So apart from the win against Everton, it's not been the best start to the season for Villa. Is he under pressure?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I can't actually quite make my mind up. You've got one win in three, which isn't a complete disaster. The problem I think he has is his upcoming fixtures.
Yeah.
He's got City and Arsenal coming up in particular. If you don't win those games, now you're looking at 1 in 5. Then I think the pressure is going to start mounting because the chairman and the board, since he got there, seem to have been very friendly to him with the checkbook. They seem to have done a lot of the things he asked. They've certainly signed a lot of the players that he clearly has wanted. And when you do that, the problem you have as the manager is you need to win games. Otherwise, the questions are going to be asked. And every chairman's different. Every chairman's rope is a little shorter or a little longer than the next team. And so depending on this coming set of games for Villa and for Gerrard, if he doesn't get results, if he doesn't get any wins, I think even maybe draws might hinder him. Then yes, he definitely could be under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 games. He's got West Ham coming up next. You also mentioned about the owners opening the checkbook. Now, I want to talk specifically about Philippe Coutinho. I know he picked up a knock last week and he was on the bench today. You've managed in football, Stevie. How much pressure are you under to kind of play the marquee signing, regardless of how he is performing?
Well, you're under pressure to play him, and the truth is, as a coach, when you sign a guy like him, you're signing him for one specific reason, and that's because he can play. And so you're not playing him through. Listen, unless the guy's absolutely stinking the place up, then you're not playing him because you spent money on him. You're playing him because you know he has ability, and you want to see it, and you're hoping that he can be consistently showing it to you. Now, the question before you sign Coutinho, considering the last 3-4 seasons he's had no consistency whatsoever, and other than a bright spell at Villa, he's kind of stunk the place out. So I don't think he's under pressure to play him because he spent money on him. I think he's under pressure to play him because he knows that in order for Villa to win games in the Premier League, Coutinho has to be at his best, and he's probably the one guy he knows that can produce it. Now it's up to Coutinho to produce it for his manager.
And that's the thing. It's getting him to play the way that he played when he first came. Because as you said, he was excellent when he first signed. Then he went quiet. I just wonder, with the system that Steven Gerrard plays, when he loves these 2 fullbacks to bomb forward, whether it's Matty Cash on one side or Luca Digne on the other side, you've seen Coutinho. Sometimes he'll start wide left and drift inside. Does the formation that Steven Gerrard play, does it affect Philippe Coutinho's kind of efficiency, do you think?
I don't think so, no. I think the fact that, listen, you want Coutinho on the ball. Yes, you want him scoring goals. But I think ultimately he's there to assist the rest of them around him. He's there to play the killer passes. He's there to play the pass that matters most. And if you have 2 fullbacks in Cash and Digne who are going forward and giving you options, then that should make it easier for Coutinho. The more options you have on the ball, regardless of who you are, then the better for you. And if you've got the ability Coutinho has, then the more options he has, better for him and for Villa. It seems right now, though, he's not making use of these opportunities, and he's not taking advantage of the options that Villa are giving him. So I don't think it's anything to do with the system. I think it's to do with Coutinho himself. And right now, he certainly is one player in that starting 11 that can take the pressure off Steven Gerrard.
Well, the bottom line is we can't put much of the blame on him today because he started on the bench. Just finally, Villa and the pressure perhaps that Steven Gerrard may be on, depending on these results. You need a bit of good luck as well, don't you? He's lost Diego Carlos for several months with that horrible injury. Do you think he'll maybe look to go back into a transfer market before the window shuts and strengthen certain areas? Or do you think it'll be a case of, okay, well, what we've got, and we'll see what we can do with it?
Again, we're going to have to look at the boardroom for this one. Having spent the money they have, having brought in the amount of players that they have, and the team's not doing well, if they have any thoughts whatsoever or certainly any questions over the managerial class of Steven Gerrard, you may find out that when he asks and he's not given, you've just found out your answer. Listen, if they turn around and sign somebody else between now and the end of this window, I think that will give you the green light that the boardroom are backing them. They haven't gone into the realms of question marks the way we have already. So I think that will be the key. If you see players arriving at Villa Park between now and the end of this transfer window, that tells you the board are backing them. If you don't see any, however, then that will certainly make us question whether the board are or are not backing them.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.